This is August. Here I am up here. What I'm working on is getting a clamp on this seat. I have to go in and take a look inside the panel board over there. I need to change one of the flashers. Here I am. Hello. And this seat needs to come out and sit up here on the cat cage so I can open that side panel and work with the flashers and any other issues that may be self-evident with that open. So all I need to do here is to get this clamp to hold this. It seems to me when I was younger, I was stronger for sure. What do you mean seems? Hell, that's fact. And I could seemingly get by that without doing this, but this seems to me like a very likely thing to do. There we go. We have the seat release in a pinch. Okay. And the Hesperus is how I came to Idaho. This should come straight up out of there. There it is. It's out. I have to wiggle it out of here. How do we get it? I got to get past the spin. Forgotten what the procedure is here. Right where the camera is. Is that what I'm seeing? That I have to get over where the camera was. Okay. Let's see what we can do with the camera. Put that. Maybe we can get her in here. Okay. All right, it's out of its holder. I need to bring it out from under the steering wheel. And then I can put it where I want it. Where's that spring? I'm on the spring. Okay. Right. That spring. Okay, well, we're beyond it now. Does it hurt? Not in the least. Is my machine hurt? Nope. Let's move it back. I don't want to come up against this greasy thing. That towel's out. Move this back. Where's my telephone? Underneath it. My telephone's under here, I think. No? Where is it? What did I do? Oh, there it is. I see it. All right, let's move this back further. So we will not have any issues with keep that greasy thing off. This goes up and down until you find your notch. You spring on that spring down there. So anyway, I don't want the spring here while we're doing that either. So I'm gonna go lay this on the floor in the bathroom. It's a there we go. The spring's out of the way. All right, now I'm going to take the clamp off of here so I don't have to it latches in, wherever you want it. And then it's just the state of the seat. Don't touch this thing. It's awful. Now there's the weld I was talking about. Very nicely done. Put that on there. You can carve something into it. You need to get a screwdriver and get this panel open. And I think I missed it where I just moved the flasher around and they started it. I don't know, I'll have to see, but anyway, I just started it back up. The reveal, where I pulled it open, maybe it wasn't running, maybe it was. Good grief. Dust collects everywhere. But anyway, this is the electrical panel that I've told everybody it's just like it was when it came up, the factory floor, only 70 years old. But look at the wire. I've got no reason to sit and cuss this wire, and the outer and the interior wire is all good. I have some things I've added here, I can see, and some THHN. I'm not sure what it's doing. I will figure it out. Is that what I did to make the dash panels turn off and only follow the relay of the alternator? to keep the hours off of it. I stopped the hours on it. 1,000 hours. My tail. It just shocked me when I looked at it. I thought I didn't run that thing for 1,000 hours. But we did run the Thermo King for quite a bit of the time to keep the cabins warm and the engine warm so you can start it. They might be out of time just with the fronts. Let me see, and that wasn't my back working? I know my back turn signals were working. What happens if I pull this? Okay, let's go see what's going on now. That needs to be fixed. Now that's what I had before. This was, all right, so let's turn this off. And let me turn on the blinker. Is that both back and front running? I'm sure it is. Yeah, there's the front. Yeah, quite a bit of rain. Man, these tarps, this is a lousy. Man, I'll be forever. Those are in sync going this way, and they're on the one flasher. So, I think it's just the fact that from the front, I bet from the front to there. Let's see what happens when I put on the four ways by themselves. I know both blinkers work this way on that. Because they've been fine for driving, just not, my four ways weren't working correctly because of that one timer. Yeah, I've forgotten how it worked. All right, let's turn this off. You turn it, go that way. Of course, those are on, they do their thing. All right, we want the four ways, which is down here. All right, now let's go see, because we've got one of them missing. So I have, I don't have the side blinker. I don't have the front blinker. I don't have the side. That's what it is. And I should have all of these ones in the back are running, I think. Yes. So, yeah. Well, that's really quite protected. I mean, hey, the back end's where you really need somebody to know that you're stopped on the road more than if you were to lose that. So that's what I don't have, is the front four ways with that not running. And they are the ones that run out of sync with the back. And when you look at the side, that's when you can see it. All right, let's go put that ticker back in there. This will get tightened up. You know, this is the, I thought, well, maybe it's finally already died, but this is the one I got with it, and it's good. How many wires does it? It has, seems to have 2 wires connecting it. So it goes in there like this right here. Those are both the same kind of flasher. I just don't see any reason to. What's this? I don't know. It's stiffly hanging there. It's not going to touch anything. But it doesn't have any covering on it. Okay, what do I think maybe I did? What is this? This is... maybe that's out to the wheel tack for the speedometer. There's a lot of stuff here that isn't really doing anything. I'll bet. There it is. That's pretty bad. Now let's do something about that. That has to not do that at all. Oh, we will do something about that. Let me put it that way. I need to go get a meter, and we need to figure out what it is that causes these gauges to come on. Let's turn off this. I know it works. Works fine. I just got to fix this socket. It's aftermarket anyway, number one. Wired in there, and I just don't. I need a different screwdriver because that's a number 3. Turn this off. They need to be in there, but I can't have that. I want the new owner to be just super satisfied with, the normal things that you turn on. That's a safety issue. You need those blinkers to those 4-ways to work. And it is interesting. Now that I think about it, it is the fact that it was out of sync with the front of the bus, not the back. The backs all work together. You got 4 of them back there. I'm getting the feeling that I traced this all the way back to back there for some reason, because I need to figure out what's going to turn off those gauges. Marker lights, general lighting, power up relays, and a whole lot of other circuitry. I spent a lot of time 33 years ago learning. I stretching a piece of wire out and from front to back, and checking this out. I want to start up the engine and try some relays I have in the back for something. I need to go clear the engine, and we're going to start it from here. We're going to do the whole thing from right here, but I need to go make sure that the engine's clear and ready to start. This is something I usually do back there. Let's try this. I want to the emergency stop. It flipped. I don't know if you saw that, but I heard it. I have to go set the emergency stop. See, is there any way that oh yeah, you got a view of what I did up there. Emergency stop right here, boom. Pull it back right here, and it flipped, put the lid on the engine. I need to go undo the lid. Okay, the lid's been reset, so we know that we got a lid if the thing tries to run away on us. And the parking brakes are off. Sitting in holes, it's not going anywhere anyway. It is in neutral, so let's turn on the engine run. And did you notice, see, the gauge, air pressure gauge, but this did not go to 0. It's the only one we have up here right now. And we're trying to discover why, where I did this. So I'm going to reach for the starter, and this should be whoa. Sure did start. It got cold last night. Now that's a cold start. I shouldn't see it. It put out a little bit of smoke on that one. It started. Give the neighbors some smoke. That's why if you're, let's go back there, take a look. But we started it. Now if you look, oh, the oil pressure's up way, it's like 45, almost 50 pounds right there. And of course the air gauge was already up. This is the speedometer. But indeed, this is now working, and I have power to the other sets of gauges. Now what I want to do, I'm going to go back there. There's a relay in the back that I have doing something, and I'm not just sure what it is. It may be where this happens. Some of those relays that I added back there. It puffed off some white smoke. We got her started. I just, without running it. There's the little tack right there. Tack drive. Oh, good grief. Alternator. Something relay. No charge dash light. Now, those were moved down. Those relays were just moved down. So, because of a relay that had to be replaced. But if you follow the pattern, the numbers are the same, and they go to a spot where the old relay that didn't work anymore is wired in there, so it's basically the same. It's just in a lot easier form to get to and know what it is. So Brad, I forgot that I have that beautiful cover on there now. This tarp is working really well. It dumps its own water off. The bus has stayed real dry. Look, you can see where the water's not hit the bus at all. It's over here. Oh, it's splashed up a little bit on it. Nothing to... What are you going to do? What you don't want is the water inside on the floor. And this tarp is getting worked. I am patching it up with D-U-C-K tape in the spots. But see, like that, that's the spot that the wind, now it doesn't rip out and do stuff, but it sure gets a crease work right there. And a little piece of duct tape will prolong that. I'm not ready to call it a day on this tarp yet. This is more expensive, and it is holding up better. I mean, as far as the fabric, that there are working places, Matt, because it's allowed to fly in the wind, so you can see it, but it doesn't have a tendency, it doesn't want to rip. It seems to work around that, but it's not like a nice shed. Let's see that, how it creases right in there. It goes back and forth and gets creases. Well, it finally does work a hole in those corners, but it just doesn't like run. So I don't think, at least I hope that's what I'm reporting, because I'm going to be out here, believe me, I'll be out here in the sweat and weather to keep the water off of this thing, off the floors and stuff. The tires, hell, the tires are, and they look good. You get, they scrub up, and they scrub up like a new penny, really. But there are very minor surface cracks in them, and they're only 30 years old. What are you worried about? And those are some beautiful tires. Keat from India to match the set. Keat. They're bias ply tires. They only got 7,400 miles on them or something like that. Just a few, whatever's on this odometer. So when this new odometer went on, and that's 7,465 miles. And the new oil has about 60 miles on it, I think. Maybe not that far. Look, it's well, it's a good 40 miles on it. When I took it out, I changed the oil, greased the drive shaft, because I can climb under here. I can climb in there with the airbags all the way down and grease the drive shaft. And you hang over from the inside and do that one. I'm not driving it. I would not drive it without the drive shaft being greased. I am letting it warm up. It's definitely sending heat out to the start tube. See, now I could put the heater fan on right now, and yeah, it'll start heating the bus up. It's got water coming right out here to the radiator. So if I come over here and to see, we're talking about blowers. Let's go to there it is. Look at that. I mean, you can see it comes by, it dumps atmosphere off into the cat room. It has intakes in there, by the way, and the back walls, those holes, and they got scoops. Bring the cat some air conditioning. Whatever it is, man, needs heat. If we're using heat, cat can use some heat. And the heat is on, so that water will be bringing some heat in. That's all there is to it. And it brings it all the way back. It's warm. It's it's nice and warm up here. So what it's actually just started up. Oh man, that's a lot of air. And it needs to warm up. It doesn't seem to. It's not putting out a whole lot of air, but it's not terribly cold either. I do feel the warmth happening. This does not heat. It doesn't come back. If the Thermal King's not running, it's like that's a one-way street. So the Thermal King doesn't necessarily, you know, the water's on, it's on there, but well, I got to take those out. It's not a tragedy. I just didn't want to. It looks so good. And it definitely, it's keeping the dirt. I want to put some little covers in those. Hours Safe, Area 51. Yeah. Don't want it mucked up in there. We're still cold, really. I just feel right here, this is the top of the head. I mean, this is right where the hot water to be had is. And the pipe, it's warm, you know, this is nice for your hands right there, right now. And that's the, you know, that's not in the way. That's the best place for it till you figure out what you want to drive with a motor. And look what you can do with it, that piece on that other decoy or something if you had it. That's not for throwing away. That is the best thing I ever did with that, right there. That's for future whatever, and it's beautifully put on there. This is cold because this is directly, that water comes here, and this water takes priority going that way because it's a check valve that won't. So if the engine starts blowing water this way, then it starts picking up water, this water that's coming back. This water's just barely getting, it's about my hand temperature, where the bus is really cold. I don't know how cold it was last night, but I know Lindsay put blankets over the cats out here. I got to do something, get them some electric blankets or something. So let's take our drill and go remove the hardware from the back. See what I can do about this. Yeah, that yeah, my oil pressure's good. Oh, that's the air brake. $51, 52 feet of 5152. Oh, there's the heat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're on your way. Yes indeedy. And it is, you can hear the fan, it's right back in there. Sounds real good. It's, I want to balance the other fan, but you only needed the one. Oh yeah, there you go. Now we're bringing the heat on. It's not as warm here as it is in the front there, but I gotta heat up the duct a little bit. Get the well, looks like August's gonna have this bus through another winter. Unless somebody acts quick. All right, everything is working very nicely. We need to get the back panel off. That's what we're doing. So let me get the And I'm going to move to the back of the bus, take that cover off of the electric for right now. Make sure I don't lose my hardware. Brand new, and then the sheet metal nuts behind them are brand new too. So boy, I know I have a one or two spares. I just don't know where they are right now. I don't want to lose that. I put it on the bottom. This looks so much better. Well, definitely the heater's up and running, and it can definitely support its own heating inside. I just shut it down. I need to examine, I'm gonna get my meter and just examine what in the world did I do here so many years ago. I need to get the other gauge package sitting in it. Maybe that's what we do, is to go get it and set it in there. Uh-oh. I'm dribbling engine oil. See there? Got to have that tack in place. It's not even hot. Not really. But that's what that tack rides in, is Earl right there. And oil. Tack's in the back. I think we'll install it. I don't want to hurt the natural patina of the tack, so let's here, let me get some oil for it. And available oil, let's see here. Maybe I should only put engine oil. It looks good, man. It's running. It's just running. It's fine. And I don't want these end pieces wearing out. But you can see, you already saw the oil. Let's look at this thing. And because it's not going to be any fun not to be able to watch the tack when we put it in. So let's get the tacker in here. And right there. So all you do is, you got a little oil in there. Everything's oily. This thing's oily, ready to do its job. Get that little cranker to fit in there. It goes in the slot. Tighten that baby up. Right to there. That's all it needs for right now. Tight enough. So, well, okay, this plugs right into this hanging cord. I think you can see it there, maybe. Let's see. Back here. The hanging cord is... One. Okay. All right, the tachometer's plugged in, and let's go get the. Sure does, man. I'm curious to what I figured out. And let's put this. Okay. We need this dash piece in there and the tack plugged in to see how this is doing. I'm going to put just a little bit of Vaseline on the threads of this amphenol plug. Very little, just enough to promote good going. All right. Hopefully drop comes along beautifully. Here's definitely the the back of it. Before we go the formalities, the tack wire goes down below into the next hole up here. Just comes down here. Get it out of the way of the. Get it over the top. Get it out of the way of the amphenol plug. Rotate this around in here, and let's get the amphenol plug started. Reach down this way, get the amphenol plug, and position it where. There it is. Going in. See, I can get my whole hand in here. Of course, I got a skinny hand, so it's good for this stuff. Tighten this up. Here it goes. I mean, we're going in. This new tachometer. The amphenol plug is just screwing in there just beautifully. No problem. Still, I haven't solved the issue where this is not going to be in the on state until the engine is running, but we're on top of it. We're getting there. Okay, there's the amphenol plug completely tightened up. Get your hand out of there and set this in position. Right. Uh-oh, what's going on? The bottom edge here. Don't get carried away. You don't hurt your edging. This edging is part of the look, man. Get on there. Where is the rest of this edge? What's going on with it? Get out of there, wherever you are. There it is. Okay, bring it into position. There I am. All right. And this should. What's going on? Set. It should set just fine right there. That's it. All right. Well, I know one thing. The tachometer. Turn it on. Of course, it's not going to be on until we start the engine because of certain aspects of it. But we will get that. We will get that taken care of. Definitely new paint jobs on all the panels could be in order, but unfortunately I just don't have the time to do that. Let's get these screws in here. I don't know how good this is, what we're seeing, because I'm trying to avoid the light. What we're doing is definitely putting in the tachometer panel, and the lighting is wrong for it to be just so beautiful of shots. But let's try this down here and look up at it a minute. See how that looks. Well, that's it, right? That's it over here. So, no, that's terrible. Lighting's terrible for that. Okay, this. Okay. Teflon washers never came out of the old. This was green when I first did it, and I didn't skin this down as good as, because I'm seeing some of the flaws in it. But still, oh my goodness, what do you want from an old vehicle? This is beautiful. The paint job on that is immaculate. These definitely wouldn't hurt to take these apart. I didn't have this fancy blasters that we have now back then. Put that in. These are not number 3s. These are number 2s. So don't try to stick a number 3 in a number 2. Doesn't work. All right. No. Let them sit down in their little spot. Do not get tight on them. Yep, that cinched her down. Okay, all right. Now what I need to do is definitely put the relay back there, and we'll pull it. I'll do some looking, but I want to see this operate. Oh, before we do this, I don't want to disappoint myself. I have to plug in the 2 halves here. See, we have this half that came from wherever, and where's the other half? No, it's down here. There it is. No, that's not it. Here it is. All right, here's the 2 halves. They're in my hand. I'm not going to try to, all you got to do is fit these 2 things together, which I think I just did. Surely. Yeah. That's it. They stuck together and they are pushed together. All they could be. All right. Okay, let's put this relay back, and the thing should power up correctly, and let's see the first time. See okay, again, we're going to demonstrate to ourselves the reliability of the new starter. I'm turning on the switch. Of course, we have air, so we're not hearing anything. Let's use the starter button, and oh boy, tachometer's on, and the calibration isn't right. That's just it, is that it's not seeing things correctly. So 1-to-1 signal. There's a lot of noise in this is really interesting. I just had to set the, I never thought about that. I had to set it to 2 to 1 because I've got a full wave and this thing is counting 100, it's counting both of them. In other words, it's a negative and a positive counts for 2. Now it's working correctly. There's 21, 22, 23. Right at 23. The other one was fairly accurate, but this one, boy, that's really idling right about 550 RPM. And it should be advancing. We're gonna let it run for a while to see it advance from 0.5 to 0.6. I did the 0.5 on the drill, of course. I like it. All right, let me put it back in. I was worried there for a minute. I saw it going, man, that didn't work right, but it's getting 2 pulses, negative and positive for every revolution. So I just put 2 to 1. And there it is. That's correct and perfect. And look at it sit there. That is just too cool. We're not even at we're about 100 degrees on the engine right now. You know, we run the, trying to warm the cabin with it, and at the same time, oh, I like that. Yeah, that looks real good. I hope that it's showing up the way, look at that, that's just beautiful. No tick. We just got to get, I guess I just barely got to 5, so it's got to sit here for a whole 6 minutes before we'll add a 0.6 to it and give it a clean bill of health. I didn't think about that. The other type of sensors that it's using is just a square wave. I mean, it's just a 1/2 wave, and this is a full wave. So it looks to me like it has to be. I'm just counting the bottom and the top. Now what we got to do is figure out how to see what I did to make it shut off, because I definitely don't need it to turn off just because I've shut the engine down. Now that it doesn't count. Wow, that's looking real good. I hope some of this footage doesn't have the light. Yeah, it's idling at 550 RPMs. And the wind's blowing my tarp around. Well, I can certainly say I like that. Let's see, let's get these screws tightened in here again. I love the slow down, because I mean it grabs and stops it. You don't want to cinch these too tight now. This stuff is all purty. Look at that tack. No more ticking. Oh, no ticking. I love it. Now, which set of contacts back there? All right, we're gonna go. I want to see this thing advance. We haven't had it in there for 6 minutes yet. There it is. It just advanced. It just went to 6/10. Very good. And again, let's. $23.25, about $23.25, something like that. And no smoke in the back either. Running her up slow and nice. She'll roll. That looks so nice. That is so much different. We're just barely coming up here you know, sometimes I really do have trouble. If we're using the heater and stuff, you have trouble keeping your engine heat up. 14 volts. I always want to see this. You want to see if you're running your batteries down. And of course you need the oil pressure's over here, and this is your speedometer. That certainly needs some paint touch up on it. But that is the silver, sort of a silver, somewhat metallic paint job. Could be a lot of things, but what it is in there right now and working very well. And it's not going to advance in time unless the alternator's running. Had to set this for this. Remember, I got 1-to-1 back there, but it's a full wave. This thing's counting 2 for a full wave. That's perfect now. Yeah, that's the kind of pushing that can get smoke out of it. You don't do that. You don't want to smoke your neighbors out. They run these engines right. I love it. That tack is cool. But the problem is all right, let's go see. I'm gonna go pull out. I know if I pull out I don't know what I have that one set for. The end one's not doing anything as far as I'm concerned. But I sure think I'm gonna go pull relays and see where I am. Boy, I wish I had more documentation on this move. But this one says, says alternate relay. Alright, I pulled this relay. See, alternator relay. That one says gauge is no charge, or I know that we're charging because the voltage regulator says we are. That little incandescent light is the field. This is alternator. I put this stuff in. I have no remembrance. Our gauges, everything's off. So, was it done right here at this relay? Or is it the next relay over? Moving. I don't know. I need to do some more research back there. See what this is. Because I don't want it turning off with the alternator anymore. It's not normal. It's all these relays that I put in 30 years ago. Yeah, and I had a wire laid out. And, you know. Alright. Now the thing is this relay. No charge light isn't on. No charge. Huh, the gauges aren't on, but I don't believe the no charge light is on, is it? Oh yes it is. Oh yes it is. No charge. Because no charge. Huh. This runs that relay. And Well, let's see. What in the world? Tachometer's good, that's for sure. Needs a 2-to-1. It's full wave counting. Full wave counts as 2. Amazing. Perfect. That's really nice. But the problem is that I have something amiss here. What is it that I did? What did I do? What have I done? I found the singular wire that comes all the way from the back end and back up to run. Now I thought that I may have made a change. I do see some things here, but I didn't dwell on it. No, it's I'd have to look for the number. Anyway, no, it was an old wire that came from up here back there carrying the power to the gauges. That used to work like it does now. If I turn on that switch over there, those come on. But it's because I'm feeding it from the back. That's a long ways out there. I'm just thinking of voltage drop and such things as that, but it doesn't seem to. I've got the 14 volts up here that I'm looking for, and no, well, it's probably only one trip. The way it is from back there, it gets a big supply of juice and sends it up here to those gauges. So that's not as bad as I was thinking. I'll have to look at it. I just know absolutely when I got the bus, whether it's from there or, let's see, you've got the rear engine control. Doesn't matter. It's back there. And it's on the relay, the no charge relay. So when that relay goes in, it runs from the relay terminal on the alternator. That great big gear driven alternator that's in the back, oil cooled, gear driven, beautiful alternator. That's back there, capable of making a whole lot of power at very low RPMs. I think fast idle was 1200. And that way you're making plenty of juice. You're keeping the air conditioning and you're pulling the compressor in the back too. Keep the people cool, keep the coach cool while it's out there in the boonies. I'm sure I would have more trouble with this if ever really taken it in some kind of 100 and change weather. With a full load of bodies on here, boy, man, people add so much. People don't realize working in a big commercial building, how the difference in the air conditioning load when you have every room filled to capacity, basically with warm bodies. Hey, it takes some air conditioning to keep them cool. Where on the weekends, it's light duty because all you're cooling is air. And so these were capable of doing that. You had to have all 45 passengers or capacity. 2 of them are gone because of the restroom. That capacity there. You could have that easy. Couple of kids hold in the same seat. I don't see how they would prevent that from happening back in the day. If they were children, hey, as long as they like each other, it's okay. A very interesting concept. Well, anyway, I'm very pleased with what I've done here. And what I'm going to do right now is just what I do before it gets dark. No, it's not. The sun is just behind the big leaves on the tree over there. And it's getting that time. Let's go on and off. Let's turn this thing on. And let's code and backspace. And what we're looking at is gauge supply. And print it. Print. And this thing is not, man, oh, it's getting skinny. It's getting thin. I'm going to print another one. I'm leaving this together, and I'm just going to print another one, and then we'll fold it over. Print. Because this is an important wire. This is the one that I discovered. And these are all gauges. Those relays are all ones that I put in. I replaced bad relays back there to get this thing to work again the way it was. So you just replace it and you put the wires back in the same place. So if you go locating it, you find it, then you find it on that. That's the big issue with me. I see the layout, but we don't really have the full schematic of some of that smaller stuff. It's a very the change drawing that was made at the time that they change it is good. If you find the place, but for it's first you have to find what you're looking for here and take some numbers and then start hunting for them in the text and that type of thing. So it's a real research deal that I spent a lot more time with when I was younger, 33 years ago. These are puzzles. These are like, a lot of people want to play puzzles or whatever. Well, this is puzzlement. It's definitely a very, very, okay, let's take this back and mark this wire for the future so we know which wire it is without doing what I did to figure it out. Pulling relays out, coming, running back and forth, but that's what you do. That's how I found it. One side of that relay is the no charge. The alternator is quit, and that light came on. Well, that relay is still there. It's just the one set of contacts was turning that light bulb on. The other one was turning the gauges on up front, and so that's this one. And it's marked here 44. So I did run it by wire 44 up there, and I didn't come up with anything satisfactory. So I'm going to put this long tail around it so we can completely identify it in the future. So how this works is we get this thing coming around it. Come around here. We definitely get our two ends to stick to each other as best we can. Get them close. Get the don't let it touch each other yet. I hope this is going to show. Maybe I'm not on, but whatever. I'm pasting this together at the end. It's pretty close. And then I'm pulling it, and I'm making it a big flag on it. Gauge dash supply. And well, let's could locate it so you can see it through the window like that. That'll be pretty. That's the one that we found. And all I did was move it from see, this says no charge and dash light. I don't know why. No charge dash light. That's what it says. That's what it is. Gauges, no charge dash light. Well, the gauges were on the other side. So when it would close, when the alternator's running, and this is the one that's attached just to the alternator. That's attached to the same relay as the anti-start mechanism that keeps you from running this thing while. So anyway, let me set this back and let's get to putting this back end back on. I do not want to leave the cover off. That cover makes it back here. It makes it look, gives it a finished sort of look, even though a derelict bus is never finished. And I think that is really cool. That, let's bring that around. That, I like that. I want that flag to sort of show gauge dash supply. And we took that from one side of the relay to the other. Plenty of room for the wire to do it. Hold it around your installation, and let's get going. Get this back on. All right, this Area 51 cover. Oh, this is the good idea. This goes in here like that first, and you bring it down, and you take it up, and we plant this one first, right? Gauge dash supply. That's it. That's the wire. And the relays are all working good. I will lay out a little more in detail my explanation what this is, but we definitely want those gauges to stay on. It's been, now that other tack made me do it. That tack made me do it. It was so expensive too at the time. Well, there wasn't any internet. Even though I was ground floor internet and I was working with computers, I could have thought up some of those things. Those things that you do with it to make big money. What's going on is it's ticking. Does it see it? There it is. Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah, we're running. Okay, so anyway, just set that here. That's my telephone with the picture on it, so I can see. Let's get these sorted, make sure they're heading in right. Perfect. You don't want to start some kind of new approach to it at all. You want those screws to go in. Just get the ones where, make sure that I've got these. Oh, that's maybe a little something right there. Yeah, right there. Okay, that's it. All right. And this, let's get going. Let's get the rest of them. Every screw has to be in. And I see 1, 2, oh yeah. And there was, I found, man, I hope I didn't dump out I hope there's a spare one of these. You can sure drop one of these and all of a sudden your beautiful every screw in job doesn't have every screw in it anymore. So that's 1, and here's 2. That's the end of it. That's all the hardware. And I found 2 of those stainless steel washers that were down while I was doing this that I left sitting. Let's pick them up, take them in and put them. Okay, let's close this. These are the bigger bit, but I don't like them. I'm just not getting crazy about the snugness of these. Tight is tight. This thing doesn't shake that bad. Oh, that looks good. I just love the cover. Lower test up. It's cut out right here, but you pull this thing up into the center and you're done. This says cut out. See, run normal, cut out. That keeps the starter. Cut out means that they can't start it up front anymore. That's all that means. And then if you push it over one more, it'll start up from back here. There we are. There's my beautiful panel. There's the wire we moved. The gauges work right up front. And yeah, the tach drives in. And not dripping any oil out of it, even though we know that engine oil would be just fine and dandy. That's what it runs on. That's what my cools my alternator. That's why you really got to keep your oil reasonable anyway. This is why the dash light. This is the high temp. It runs on both sides if that's on there, but this is adjustable, and it was giving me, it was too low, and it was turning the high engine light on. I've got a gauge on it, so I just unhooked it, and I never have gone back and worked on take this. Man, there's adjustment to this whole thing. Really is. You can calibrate it to exactly where you want that engine hot thing coming on. There used to be two of them. There's only one that runs both sides now. But that's what that is. I know what it is, and it will undoubtedly. If it's hooked up, it won't be on. But you know, I don't remember climbing a hill or something. It worried me, but the gauge stayed, 100 and whatever, 180, 190 at the worst. So that is back together. Got our cover on. You can see the dash supply. Gauge dash supply. I didn't get it so it lays the gauge out, but anyway, that's it. And I moved it to the other side of the relay. The whole thing comes off. That turns off with the key. The whole thing, so that's all you do. Move it around to the other side is all I did back here. Exactly how and why things are with the original dual engine thing. Oh man, it was much more it was complicated, but there is complications because of the change in the schematic. But if you've got one that's in pretty, I need to end this, and it's not finished. I came and found that the way that this schematic says it's wired, that indeed, because it's being set by the generator armature relay, that these gauges would go off if the alternator quits. And well, that's the way I've had it, but I put it that way. So if somebody else had it on here, I don't see anything wrong. I'm not using power on anything, but I'm using a little light power in that. I'm using the power to run the temperature gauge. Well, if you have the Thermal King engine running, good grief. If you have the Thermal King engine running, then you are heating the water. I want that gauge on in the big engine, so you can see where that temperature is and how cozy that works. A hot engine light, it's not going to turn on until you go over what the hot engine thinks. So what the heck? The low oil pressure light, yeah, that's going to be on. Is that a sin? I think it's on both sides because you had two engine low oil and they're attached together. There is a way to ascertain that from the other print. Anyway, that's where I am. I would love comments. If you have any input or questions about what I'm looking at here and dealing with, hey, feel free. I really like to hear from people. So this is August, and give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it.